There's no, whatever comes out of Pittsburgh is in Pittsburgh. We know what the focus is for us. It's not about Le'Veon not being there or what their team feels or thinks. It's about what we do on Sunday. To me, we just got to go play. We're not going to worry about them that way.
All right, so the obvious question heading into this game is going to be how big of a drop-off is there between Le'Veon Bell and James Conner, Le'Veon Bell, who knows when he's going to show up. So now all signs have to point towards James Conner as the running back on this team.
So how big is the drop-off?
How big?
It's enormous. I mean, we have to stop pretending like great players aren't great players. And we have to stop pretending like teams don't act in their own best interest. What do I mean by that? If the Steelers thought, after seeing James Conner for a year, after seeing James Conner in some of the offseason program, that James Conner was 70% of the player of L. Bell, they would not franchise tag L. Bell.
Exactly.
L. Bell is accounting for $14.5 million of their $200 million salary cap. So you're allocating 7% of your cap to a player. Why? Because you think he adds that much value. The Steelers need another inside linebacker. The Steelers might need a safety. The Steelers certainly could use another outside linebacker as well, I would add. Like, you could go spend that money elsewhere if you think you have any close facsimile to L. Bell and James Conner. They know they don't. Now, they can speak a big game now, but if James Conner is close to L. Bell, then the hell are you paying this guy $15 million for?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. We just don't know how big the drop-off is because we don't know what James Conner is. But I do believe that James Conner will be serviceable enough in a running back's role because this offensive line and the skill position players are just that talented with this team. But when you talk about what you're trying to do this season, the Steelers are trying to win a championship. So to me, when it comes to winning at the highest level, who is the ultimate chess piece when you have him in the backfield? It's Le'Veon Bell, because he can do all of the things that a traditional running back can do, but you can also detach him from the formation, and he can be a matchup nightmare in terms of trying to cover him because he runs routes like a receiver. I'm pretty sure that James Conner can't run routes like Le'Veon Bell. So it's definitely going to be a difference with L. Bell not being in the lineup for this team.
But how much does the game plan change? How much more now goes to Antonio Brown? How much more does this open up?
Well, listen, of course I think they're going to be more pass-heavy now and pass-heavy to wide receivers as opposed to pass-heavy to Le'Veon Bell. But I think it's more notable about how the game plan changes for Cleveland. It becomes so much more simple. It becomes so much easier. You now, with what Le'Veon Bell does, which makes him so dangerous, is when he's on the field, you have no idea. It doesn't tell you anything. No. You have no idea what Pittsburgh's going to do. There's certain guys when you see him on the field, like, oh, okay, this is a blocking tight end in the game. Like, we know he's not getting the ball. We know L. Bell can be split out. He can be handed the ball. You can do anything with him. And so now you can focus more of your attention on Antonio Brown. You can focus more of your attention on stopping the vertical passing game. And so it's, to me, schematically going into a game, it's a huge edge to be faced, even if Conner's excellent, facing a one-role running back rather than L. Bell, who might be the best two-role running back in the league.
I think the biggest difference will show up when the sub-package for the defense is on the field. When you talk about the nickel and dime groups, Greg Williams loves to run those exotic blitzes, but what that does, that puts a lot of people in man coverage. You can't have a linebacker in man coverage with Le'Veon Bell in that situation. So I think you'll see Greg Williams be a little more aggressive in his game plan and trying to go after the head of the snake, which is Ben Roethlisberger. And a big reason why he'll be able to do that is because Le'Veon Bell won't be in that backfield.
That's the key for the Browns to upset the Steelers?
The key for the Browns to upset the Steelers is we come out of this game and say, that's Myles Garrett. The key for the Browns to upset the Steelers is that Myles Garrett, without needing blitzes, I think you're absolutely right. Greg Williams will send some blitzes, but on plays with a traditional four-man rush, that Myles Garrett puts Ben Roethlisberger on the ground. Like, I think that is the biggest key, and the second biggest key is that Jarvis Landry looks like the guy they think he is and that they brought him over to be. Those are the two ones that I would point to.
Yeah, your game record's got to show up in this, no doubt. Jarvis Landry and Myles Garrett got to be a big part of this, but also Carlos Hyde, the ground game. I think the Cleveland Browns, if they want to win this game, they've got to shorten the game. They've got to control time of possession. They've got to keep that high-powered Steelers offense on the sideline so they can't score any points.
And it doesn't just have to be Carlos Hyde. Duke Johnson and Nick Chubb, they have three, relatively speaking, high-drafted running backs from each of their respective draft classes in this backfield. And one other guy to watch, like, it's not just that Todd Haley, I think, is a very smart offensive mind. Todd Haley was in Pittsburgh. His dad was a scout in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He wanted to be in. He felt offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers was a better job than a lot of head coaching jobs. He did a good enough job to keep that job. He's gone because Seven didn't want him there anymore. And so I don't know if you can coordinate with a chip on your shoulder, but if you can, Haley is. And so I would expect to see every last trick they can pull if they have a chance to pull off the upset. There is nothing I would put past Todd Haley to call in this game.
Do you think we see Josh Gordon in this game?
What? Oh, absolutely.
I think, yeah, you'll see Flash Gordon. No question about it. And that guy is as talented